And rolling.
Good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of the Sunday Spin, brought to you as always by our friends at Grooves Records in San Francisco, USA. What's Left Records in the 719 Colorado Springs, and the fine family of anonymous artists, Anonymous Collective, Anonymous Pacific, where you can pick up, as you know, the brand new copy of Skinny Mulligans 1966. More about that later. Happy Father's Day. I want to introduce you to my man, rock and roll's newest granddad, Greno. Happy Father's Day, brother.
I appreciate you, Vin. It's great to be here. And man, we have speaking of family, Vin, we got a very special guest in the house tonight. Someone that I can honestly say that I wouldn't be on this earth without this man. So
Thank you.
Eternally grateful. But he is the one, the only. He's known as Spoon Man. He's known as the Wolf Man. I call him Dad. Some called him Bobby in high school. What's up, Pop? How's your day going? Happy Father's Day.
Hey, thank you very much, man. I mean, this caps it off. It's wonderful to get a chance to visit with you guys, and particularly for you, my son, on whom I'm very proud, by the way. And it's nice to be here.
Yeah, we're really, really happy to have you on the spin today, right, Vin?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I love what you said about being proud of, Glenn's many accomplishments. Beautiful to hear. Really want to thank you for joining us. Right off the bat, I got to ask Greno's father, how quickly did you know he had something special and that it would lead to what we're doing this afternoon? I'm just curious.
I don't know. I think it was when you were in the 5th grade, Glenn? Is that it? You started out on the horn, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right?
Yeah, trumpet. Yes, sir.
Beautiful.
And how long did that last?
Trumpet was like 2 years, and then to baritone. In
I didn't
7th grade.
Yeah.
And then 8th grade. By the 8th grade, yeah, I'd migrated to the drum section. But that was headed by a friend of mine, Joey Ponchetti. So there was no first. Joey was holding that first chair down, and still is. But yeah, Dad, it was a progression, and it was great. You always encourage me, you and Mom. It's I think it's something that Vinny and I both can relate. And share in the joys of family. Not only being a part of a musical family, but getting that encouragement. And stuff. So, well, how did it all start, though, Pop? Like, what's your first memories of music? Maybe that you heard, or I know it's music is a passion of yours, just like Vinny and myself. So
is. Well, first of all, music soothes my soul. And I think the first recollection of music came when I was in the womb. My mom loved to dance, and she boogied to Glenn Miller and to Tommy Dorsey, Benny Goodman, Artie Shaw, all the big band stuff. And, I just couldn't help but just jump and be active in the womb. I mean, that's where it all started. Thanks, Mom. Thank you, Nancy Jane.
Right. Exactly. Okay, that's interesting.
Wow, what a fabulous answer. And I can relate because, I knew that was going to be the first question, as it should be. Where does it begin? And I love what he said about Mom and the dancing.
Yeah.
Oh, there's more to it.
Beautiful. Right, because my first memories, are of my grandmother. She lived on top of an Italian restaurant, and every weekend there would be the parties. But when the live music came on, that's when I would see Grandma dancing, and she'd get me out of bed, and we would dance together with my sister, God rest her soul. And it's a beautiful memory. So wow. I love what you said, especially on a day like today. Really, really beautiful. But it leads me to the first group or artist that really knocked you off your socks and said, yeah, man, this is where it's at.
Bill Haley and the Comets, Rock Around the Clock.
Wow.
Google it, man. I mean,
oh no, we don't have to.
Come on,
answer.
That's like saying Google the Beatles to us or the Rolling Stones. Who's Mick Jagger? Right there with you, Pop. No, we adore all that old music.
You know what? I got to tell you, I don't remember the name of the song, but the flip side of the Rock Around the Clock on the 45 was, I thought, the better song. I can't remember the name of it for the life of me, but it was awesome. But Rock Around the Clock, I mean, what can I say? Come on, Bill Haley, with that funny looking curly Q hair, dude, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and the bolo tie. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
But
oh yeah.
hey, out of respect, we're not going to ask how old you are when that memory came about.
Old enough to know better and too young to resist, sports fans.
Awesome.
Talk about Chuck Berry, though, Dad. Oh, sorry, man.
Oh.
Because I know Chuck Berry is like, for my dad, that's one of the most, adored artists.
Well, Chuck Berry, Bo Diddley, probably the same kind of genre deal, but Chuck Berry was something. I mean, there was so much to his music that basically paved the way for those that came after him. It just, what can I say about Chuck Berry? He was always in constant motion on the stage with that guitar, doing all the dip stuff and jumping across the stage. I mean, he brought you into what he was doing, which I think was really important for a musician. I mean, and if you couldn't lean in to Chuck Berry, man, I mean, you should have waited outside at the concerts. It was something else. So,
Great.
Can I tell you guys a personal story about Ray Charles?
No, of course you can. It's your day.
Come on, Vinny's got his shades on. You gotta tell us, Ray Charles.
Yeah, please do.
Well, he was playing a concert at San Diego High School, the old Russ Auditorium in downtown San Diego, and I couldn't get a ticket, and I went with a friend of mine, and we actually stood by the back door of the Russ Auditorium, the side door. And some chick let us in to watch Ray Charles. That was a memorable moment. And Glenn, your dad doesn't take many chances. I'm not a risk taker. I don't spend my time scalping tickets and sneaking in. But this one, I just had to do it. And it was a wonderful show. The place went nuts. And I'm thinking probably more than likely it was when I was in high school. So.
Fabulous. What a great story. One thing I do want to ask you, Bob, the dichotomy, and I loved your answer about Chuck Berry.
Right.
Generally speaking, as somebody who's played in a lot of bands, and Glenn, I don't know if you're will be similar in the answer, but generally speaking, your guitar players are going to say Chuck Berry is the man. Your singers are going to say Elvis is the man. I'm with you, Chuck Berry all the way. Glenn, I defer. Who do you think?
I got distracted, my friend. Yeah, our mystery guest is wants to get in early here, but I got distracted. Can you rephrase the question, sir, for $25,000?
What I was saying to your father is I loved the Chuck Berry answer. As a guy who played in a lot of bands, and I wanted to get your opinion on it. Guitar players usually are going to say Chuck Berry's the king of rock and roll. Your singers are going to say Elvis is the king of rock and roll. And I wanted to hear your answer on it because I'm not quite sure myself. I mean, I'm Chuck all the way like your dad.
Yeah, it's one of those terms, it's like the godfather of this and the king of that and the queen of this. And I feel it's somewhat subjective coming from a place of writing so much and being a part, Vinny, as you know, along with me, of so much original music my whole career. Chuck Berry was someone that had original music on his very first album. In fact, I think he was the first American artist to be all original on the first or second album. And as we know, the English that were inspired, the British invasion, so-called. Come on, man. Stones had 5 or 6 covers until the 6th or 7th album. Beatles too.
You're absolutely right.
A lot of these bands, they're doing everything from James Brown to Buddy Holly to every possible type of American music.
Somebody that I like to groove to too was Chet Atkins.
Okay.
A little different, take, not necessarily rock and roll, but more of the, I don't know, what would you call it, Glenn? Country Western kind of twang? I don't know, but
Somewhat, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's see. Let's hide non-video participant. Haha. So we're hiding him. Hey, we have a special guest for you guys later. So just at the end to talk about a upcoming event here in Colorado Springs. So we're trying to get that going logistically. So thanks for your patience. But right now, man, we're rocking on the Sunday Spin Father's Day edition with my dad, Bob Murrell. I like to call him Pops. But Vinny, there's a Spoon Man reference. Why don't you delve into that a little bit, my brother? I'd
Yeah,
love to hear what he'd say.
I would love to hear more about it. Yeah, absolutely. In the 719 in particular, the legend of Spoon Man is very well known. First live appearance as the Spoon Man. I would love to hear a little background about it.
Actually, it all started at a high school party. Well, a friend of mine shows up with 2 paint sticks, and they were cut short, and he starts rattling away on these things. And from there, it just took off. So I thought, you know what? Every opportunity, I'd carry these paint sticks with me in my pocket. And, if we were going to a party or a dance, I'm rattling away. And, it was amazing. I hated the attention, though. Really, I just hated it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I could tell.
Sort of.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like father, like son, right?
Sort of.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Look at me. Look at me. You want to? Yeah. So anyway, and even to this day, I was, if there's silverware handy and the spoons are light enough, I just rattle away. I was at an Elks Club function, I don't know, a couple of years ago, and I'm banging away on these spoons, and some lady comes up to me and said, "Oh man, my dad used to do that. This brings back memories." It was an oldies but goodies night, and they were doing karaoke and stuff, and I'm just rattling away, having a good time to 4/4 time, and just boom. So that's kind of, and now, I mean, the history of the spoons really are not spoons, but has to do with bones. During the Civil War, after dinner, when if you were sitting around the campfire as a Civil War soldier, as I remember, it probably started with the black, I forget the name of the battalion, but they would sit around with rib bones and start rattling these rib bones. Now, I've got some here, but they're very hard to manipulate. So those guys must have really had it down. But, great. That was basically probably the history of it. It was more about bones than sticks or spoons, but that's how it started. And I think even today you can probably find street musicians who bang on these spoons, like in San Francisco or Chicago, or certainly New Orleans. It's awesome. Awesome.
Did you ever think that your prowess as a spoon artist would have led you to a successful career as an indie rock artist, playing with the axe you have in the 719?
No.
You didn't see it coming.
No. Guys, to be honest with you, music was something that just soothed my soul. And the introduction to paint sticks and all of that nonsense came at a time in my life when, I was in high school, a little bit undecided about, what I wanted to do with my life. And I was getting pressure from all kinds of angles about, just pressures to do what I needed to do, but so I would just go hide and play my sticks in my room to records. And it was just, just soothe my soul.
Terrific answer. Terrific.
Yeah.
Hey, and on the subject of records, I do want to ask this question because it's something I thought of special for the day. Now we've got father-son here. Not much of a generation gap musically or otherwise, as I can see. I see a lot of love here, and it's a beautiful thing. But I'm going to upturn the apple cart a little bit musically if I can. I want you guys to give one example of a band that you both know you love and one that you love that necessarily the other can't stand. Because that's the mark of a fan, baby. And I'm going to start with you, Pops, because it's your day.
Gosh, you know what? It's a toss-up for me. Steely Dan and the Doobie Brothers. And of course, Vinny, my love for music happens to be corresponds to the mood I'm in. I can go with the Police and listen to them till I'm nuts. I mean, Stewie Copeland and his signature on the drums, and Andy, what's his name, and of course Sting. Or,
geez, please.
Yeah, sorry, and
Andy, what's his name?
You know,
Shame on you.
I
He's
know.
a true innovator, but no, we know what you mean, Bob. You're on a roll. Keep going.
The little guy, yeah.
I really focused on Stewie Copeland because he was, my son's a drummer, and we shared that experience. But Steely Dan, oh, we've been to 3 of them, Glenn. Oh my goodness, Peg. It's just
great answer.
Oh yeah. Man,
see those. Man. To me, that's what I want to know about the relationship. Absolutely, Glenn. Why don't you give us one that the old man can't stand that you love?
Ooh, that's there's probably a lot of music that if he heard, he'd probably just be like, he might not be his favorite thing. Of the stuff that he's heard, it seems like you've always not liked Led Zeppelin, Dad. That's a band. It seems like
no.
Yeah, see, so, and which for me, like, it's one of the all-time top drummers, John Bonham, and I mean, one of the best rhythm sections. Say what you want about the rest of the band, but very innovative. And I was probably one that I would say that for you that I like and you probably wouldn't like.
Couldn't wrap my head around them. But on the other hand, Jefferson Starship, Craig Jaquiso has gone on to be a very accomplished acoustic guitar guy. I mean, it's interesting to see that whole, how that all materialized. But Led Zeppelin, okay. But if you want to get me talking about Rush.
Bob, I'm kind of with you when it comes to Zeppelin. I'm kind of with you. Give me the Yardbirds.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Right. But wow, what great stories. I love that kind of stuff. So was there a band that your dad would make you turn down when you were a kid, Glenn? He'd say, turn that noise off, right?
He kind of liked the loud stuff too, He really he was into it. Like, I remember my dad had a little Honda Civic, Dad, was it? The red one?
Yeah, it was the first hatchback,
Yeah,
right.
We used to jam the Rush Exit Stage Left, which, quintessential live album. I don't care if you like Rush or not. Like, that's one of the best live albums ever made, period. So, and there's really not, it's in the top 10. And my dad would crank that and we're like, it's just hearing that, memories like that, or like the Police or something in the car. And then he gave me a bunch of records, vinyl, and bands like, The Doors, just huge influence on me. And Dad, talk about hearing how you heard Light My Fire and then and you went and bought. I love this story. Tell this one.
Please.
Well, it was when I was in college, and when I heard Come On Baby, Light My Fire, there's 2 versions. There's a short version and a long version. And the short version, for me, just left me, But the long version, you really get into the groove. Not a problem. Oh. So that started a spree of buying vinyl of all of their stuff. And, of course, with the death of Morrison, it just it set me back. There was just something about that band and the whole groove, and going to a college party and drinking beer. You didn't hear that, did you, Mom? Anyway, and grooving to Come On Baby Light My Fire. It was crazy. It was crazy. So yeah, that started a buying spree, right?
And it typifies that's for me, Doors and Beach Boys typify that Southern California time and era of growing up for me, and then later on it's the Southern California punk rock morphed into, which is just an extension of that, the Descendants covering Wendy by the Beach Boys. It all recycles. That's the people, right, Vinny? Rock and roll is just, it morphs and it changes and grows, baby.
Yeah, and in all honesty, I mean, how fortunate were you to have an old man who understood that, and to me sounds like encouraged it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
That's a beautiful thing to think about. I mean, we might not be having this conversation right now.
No, Dad used to show up to some seedy dive bar places to see my bands, either when I was touring or, if he was in, if we were living in the same town or at the time or whatever. But I remember Dad in the Velvet in San Diego. I don't know if you remember that spot.
I do, because the guy that owned the place was a former student of mine, and he kept greeting me at the door, and he says, "Hey, Mr. Murrell, you popped me when I was in grade 8. I said, "Well, hey, buy me a beer and I'll enjoy the music." Yeah. Oh yeah, that's classic. There were a couple places, Glenn. And then, seeing Barefoot Hockey Goalie. Oh, that was.
Yeah, man.
Tony, if you're listening, man, whoo, I missed that action. Man.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you talk Tony, I'll talk Mulligans, baby. Shout out to the whole crew. Everyone that made this record, Dad, just you as well. Everyone that made it come together. Talk about your experience, Dad, because you had a very unique role. You were basically stood alone as a DJ kind of intro to a song, and with an ode to one of your idols. Talk about that.
Wolfman Jack. Anyway, that journey started when I was a middle school teacher. So I'm driving to work one day, and I hear this guy, later on became known as Wolfman Jack, with this just totally unique style. And he was playing oldies but goodies on XERB, which was kind of a local station in San Diego. So I am so jacked up. My first period class, so I'm talking to the kids, and I'm saying, "Hey, I'm really pumped, guys. So before I get into lesson, do any of you guys know who Wolfman Jack is?" Well, from the back of the room, this kid, Gary Larson, goes into this Wolfman Jack routine. We were done for the rest of the class period. It was hilarious. So from that time on, listening to him and the tremendous legacy he had, your little peach is sweet, can you dig it? All of that stuff, just hyped me up. It was a good way for me to start my day with my kids. Science teacher, Oh, and then, hey, not only that, but on the last day of school, listening to Cream, with the late drummer, Glenn.
Ginger Baker.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes, sir. Yep.
So my science classes were introduced to some different genres when we had some downtime. But Wolfman was something. Oh, he was hilarious. And the stuff he got away with, "Are your little peaches sweet?" Well, of course, that's an innuendo. And it's
rock
just,
and roll is an innuendo.
That's it, baby. Yeah.
That's
yeah. Anyway.
Right?
Yeah.
Sunday Spin is an innuendo.
Yep.
That's why Vinny's got them shades on, man.
Well,
he's living the 1966 life, baby. Mickey
I love what he said about XERB, the mighty 1090, as it were.
Yeah.
Because truly, it actually broadcasted out of Mexico.
Well, that's right. You're right.
FAMA. Yep. The call thing would say Tijuana. Yep.
Right. The biggest reason was because there were no restrictions on the wattage. So at night, you could hear the Wolfman in darn near up to the Mississippi in some cases at the time. That more than anything else.
What
a shrewd businessman, right?
Oh, I mean, he had it
Brilliant.
together. And what can I say? He wasn't the best looking guy, but who cares? Whatever. It was
we
that
can
voice.
identify, can't we, Greno?
Yeah, radio voices and looks don't always match up, right?
Me
She's only a
too.
mother
Bam,
to love,
high
and
five,
sometimes
Pop.
she's not
Or
Me
real
thrilled.
high
too.
five, bam.
Yeah.
Man, what a treat. So we've been kicking it on the Sunday Spin, Dad. At this point, we probably want to give some shout outs. I know, you do. So give some people some love. And yeah, man, we're kicking it with Bob Murrell on the Sunday Spin. And then we have a little special treat coming up at the very end. So stay tuned, everybody. So yeah, Pop, I can see the wheels are turning.
Oh, gosh. Give a shout out to my mom, obviously, for birthing me. And, for my biological father, who unfortunately I never knew. But the stories I hear about him being an accomplished musician. Glenn, you've been generous enough to share some of his work with me. That's awesome. So I guess you could say it's in the DNA. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, John. I appreciate it. Your encouragement, their encouragement all the way along. And even though I didn't know him, but still, it's in the DNA. Give a shout out to my daughter, Jennifer, too. Hi, Jenny. Thank you very much for listening. If you're in on it, I love you, my daughter. And this is a happy Father's Day. It's wonderful, wonderful. And also, I want to give a shout out to Staples, too, for putting this thing on. Did I say that right?
Staples.
Staples.
Yeah.
Staples.
Close enough.
Yeah, Staples. We're not making copies here.
No, that's okay. And
But
to Tony,
very good, very good, Dad.
and to Tony Russo, happy Father's Day, bud. My goodness gracious, I have a lot of respect and admiration for you as a single dad. That's just super. Good stuff.
Yeah,
He's the number one paisano, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, there
we
you
all
go.
do. Much
Without
love
a
to
doubt.
Papa Tony today.
without a doubt. Yeah.
Wow, what a beautiful sentiment. Wow, just beautiful.
stuff. All right. Well, okay. So anything else? Man, you guys, just real quick, I want to let you know we covered history, we covered music, musicology, sociology. We did a little arithmetic too. But what a great show. And again, Dad, we tie it all in because you are in education for most of your life. I want to let you know at some point, Vinny and we want to have a show where we've had several music teachers on the show already. We're going to get them all together and do a little seminar, including my cousin Skip. So so look forward to that, Dad. I know I know you feel like music and education, need to go hand in hand.
They do.
We really appreciate that support.
They do.
And Vinny, before we let in Mr. Nathan Archer,
yes, sir.
You got to let the people in on next week, baby. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, next week. I mean, yeah. Coming right off, the evening with Spoon Man. Which
I know, right?
Better. Thank you, sir.
He slayed it, Dad. So good.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me, Vinny. I'm sorry we never met.
You guys will.
That's good enough. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Kenny Mulligan's
coming,
release party, baby. It's coming,
and
right,
thanks for your work on the album, which was dynamic. But yeah, Glenn, next week, be sure to tune in next Sunday. We're going to have our very good friend Frank Sessich on. Just wrote a book called Circumstantial Evidence about his time with the Stiv Bators Band and Blue Ash, and he's currently working with the Deadbeat Poets. It's a can't miss show. Definitely you're going to have some questions. Fire them out to us because it's an open forum. We look forward to seeing you. People, thank you. We love you. Happy Father's Day.
Thanks, guys. Peace out.
Yeah, and let's without further ado.
Are you guys?
Look at this guy?
Are you guys leaving already?
Here.
Where
are you going? Hey, Bob, I had to chime in. I've been waiting for like a half hour to tell you the name you were trying to remember. It's Andy Gibb.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I love it, Archer. What's up, my brother? How are
Can
you?
you imagine how bad the police would have been if Andy Gibb was in there instead of Andy Summers?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe it would have been good, but you know,
They put Andy
Probably not.
Griffith in there for all I care, you know.
Thanks for
Good to have
covering
you,
my back.
brother.
Thanks for covering my back, sort of.
So
that was a
Archer,
fun episode. Now I want to do a podcast with my dad.
you should.
I don't think he's on social media a whole lot, but maybe I'll start a podcast.
You should.
It's been
How you doing,
done.
guys?
Yeah, give it a shot. What have you got to lose?
Right.
Great
I'll
walk, memory lane.
Yeah, that was a fun thing to eavesdrop on. I've been lurking over here because
Thank
I don't
you.
know of a better way to be ready to join. And
Cool.
we're doing a different streaming service every week, right?
And
Yeah.
technology keeps us on our toes.
Yeah. So hey guys, thanks for having me on. I just wanted to plug. Also, I want to give a shout out to my dad as long as I'm on here and we're doing shout outs.
Yeah.
Glenn Archer, who bought me my first guitar when I was in 7th grade and probably didn't know what he was getting into, but it became a lifelong addiction that I'm still struggling with and enjoying. And he also he and my stepmom put me in music lessons. My mom had me in piano lessons when I was 3 that I do not remember, but I'm told I enjoyed.
Right.
And here we are.
Great. Yeah.
But I got a show next week, and thank you so much for having me on so I can hawk my wares. But I'm playing at Red Swing Brewery for anybody in the 719, doing a Rough Age solo gig with my friend Curtis Boucher, who does excellent folky music on banjo and guitar, and just an excellent haunting folky voice. So that's on the 26th if anybody's looking for something to do at Red Swing Brewery.
Which is a Saturday.
Yes, it is.
And what is it? A free show or?
Yep, no cover, 7 to 10. They have beer obviously at the brewery, but you can get food from all these different restaurants around there if you're into other food or drink or libations. And it's just a great hang on the patio there at Red Swing Brewery.
Excellent. Wow. Live music in the 719.
Hey,
So encouraging.
did you guys, I know it technically isn't the release party and we already did, but did you guys tell everybody, we've got actual CDs for this awesome Skinny Mulligans CD. It's still in the plastic. It still has that new CD smell.
Fabulous.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing that over, Glenn.
Got
Hey,
the
thanks for the
Wolfman.
plug.
Got the Wolfman vibe, huh? Yeah.
Thanks for the plug. And yes, that room looks so familiar. I was just there yesterday.
Yeah,
Can I see my drums?
Yeah, they're unharmed. They're
Hi.
in the corner. They're slightly moved so I can get in and
I know.
out the back door.
Yeah, I know you've got a lot going on over there. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we had Alice in Chains tribute band practice with me and Glenn and Danny. We didn't have the full group. Colin and Aaron's kitty had an emergency visit to the vet. So shout out to Dimitri.
Yeah.
Little guy.
Wow.
Very exciting about the tribute band. I'm hearing a lot of good things about it. Tell us a little bit more about it, because all I've heard is what I've heard from Glenn. I would love to hear somebody else's opinion on the project.
Well, I think lots of us, I don't know have you been in one of these Halloween tribute bands yet, Glenn? Or is this the first one? Oh, awesome.
Yeah, first one ever.
Well,
Yep.
So a lot of people around town, we do these tribute bands for Halloween. And I've been involved in Elvis Costello and the Attractions, where I played keys.
Wow.
I did a little bit of keys in a Van Halen tribute band, which was kind of extra, but you really do need it for a few songs. So it's still pretty fun.
Yeah.
And I did bass in a B-52s band a few years ago. So this year, me, Greno, Colin Estes, Aaron Moore, and Danny Stewart are going to do Alice in Chains. We've got some other friends talking about doing Motley Crue. And I'm not sure if there's going to be another band, but people always kind of crop up by the fall. And there's always a couple of people out there with a cool tribute band where you can do just a few shows, kind of get in character, like it's for a Halloween thing, and kind of just really revel in some cool, awesome period of music. Alice in Chains was a lot of fun for me, more when I was younger and a mopey teenager. You know, that grunge stuff really hits when you're a mopey teenager. But I do love the band, and I think they're fantastic musicians.
They really are.
Can't
Yeah,
wait
check out their drummer too, Pop. Sean Kinney.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, Alice in Chains is interesting because they're a grunge band, and I hear notes of sort of the previous era of like arena rock or something like that, or almost notes of hair metal, and they have like really pretty vocal harmonies and this
really good,
just sludgy, doomy guitar stuff going on. And yeah, I think they're fantastic. Jerry Cantrell's an amazing arranger and songwriter, and Lane Staley had just an iconic voice. He's not with us anymore, rest in peace. But it's been a lot of fun just digging into those riffs and learning those little nuances. I'm sure you'd agree, right?
Oh, it's so much fun.
You're certainly working with some all-stars, that's for sure.
Yeah.
What a lineup.
Yeah, and that's the other great thing is you get to put a short-term project together. And I mean, sometimes a long-term project is just like hard to sign up for, right? Because everybody's busy, everybody's got a day job, everybody's got another project. But if you can just really dig in for a short-term thing, it's really fun. I think it's more fun to do quality than quantity. That's kind of my take.
Exactly.
Super. And yeah, I would love to hear more sometime about the Elvis Costello tribute band too, because my solo record, there's an Elvis Costello cover on it.
Yeah. Oh, no kidding. Which one?
It's called The Imposter. It's on Get Happy. That's that.
Okay.
That the K-Tel album with 40 songs on it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, that's an underrated gem of them.
That's great.
You know, he's got such a deep catalog, though. You know, it's hard to give every record its due for that guy.
Sure,
Yeah.
but the Attractions on their own too. What a band! And to play keyboards in that band must have been a
Oh man, I kind of was the whole time I was a little jealous of Jeff Fuller, who was our Elvis, but he did a great job. But I kind of sing a little bit like Elvis Costello sometimes, out of maybe like years of imitating him, and now I can't get it out. I can't stop doing it a little bit. But Steve Naive was just a lot of fun to dig into all of that. And there's really rich arrangements and different layers of stuff that I have to figure out how to do on keys. And we also had Aaron Retka play bass, and Kevin Johnson did drums that year. And it was it was probably one of the best years. We had some other guys do a David Bowie tribute band, and just with the strength of the material, you can't not have a great time with those two. You know,
right?
Yeah, can't wait to hear more about the project,
So,
guys. I'm
anyway.
really psyched, and I'm glad that that you guys are playing together as a band, as it should be. The time has come. Reno, it's got to feel good, brother, huh?
Oh, it's great to be put back in a room with musicians and doing music. It's fun and interesting. Yeah, it's what a gift. And it was the icing on the cake to have the Mulligans be part of that, just kick off kind of the summer and everything. And our bass player Danny is actually releasing some vinyl from his band 6 Cents. So Colin's always releasing stuff. I know Rough Age has some stuff coming too. So man, just great things all around, so
It's an exciting time. It really is all the way around.
And now you can go out and do it in public again.
Yeah.
Without spreading the plague.
Well,
Exactly.
Here's the other thing. Now you can go out actually, and if there is one blessing in disguise, and I'm going to leave it here, guys. I really want to thank you for your time. But if there's one blessing in disguise, I think now when people are playing live, you're going to be appreciated a hell of a lot more.
Oh yeah.
right?
Guys.
Yep.
Absolutely. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, on that note, it's been what a great show. I want to thank everyone for their time, like Vinny just did, and it means a lot to both of us to be able to keep doing this Sunday Spin every week. And man, looking forward to a sizzling hot summer with some great episodes coming on. Yeah, let's get the rest of the IAC crew on, and I'll pretend I'll ask a bunch of pressing questions and get you guys involved. But yeah, it'd be a lot of fun. And Dad, thanks so much, man, for being
Thanks.
my pop
Tune, man.
and standing
Awesome.
by me and all these dive bars that you've gone to all these years. Dad, you know what's funny is you've actually, so I'm just remembering now before we go that there was a show that you performed with Menagerie at that Rough Age also played. And it was
I remember
at the
that.
RK.
Yeah. Was
Yep.
that was one of our Red-Headed Zombie shows, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Great.
organized by CJ and
We
Austin.
love you, CJ.
Oh,
Yeah.
you got to get CJ on here, right?
We don't believe we've asked. The guy is like the sketch, it's got pushed back like 3 times. So yeah, no, we definitely, but thank you for that. Much love. No, we want to. He's playing hard to get with us, man.
Can I just mention one more highlight?
Of course. Yeah.
Were the 3 summers, 3 summers that I spent in Florence, Alabama at the WC Handy Blues Festival and having a beer with the late Rich Hall, who was the founder of Fame Records. And people think that Nashville's it, huh? Nope. It's gotta be 3614 Jackson Highway, Fame Records, Muscle Shoals. You got Stones, Aretha. They all journeyed through there on their way to whatever. So yeah, those 3 summers were a highlight for me as far as music, and of course the Blues Festival here in Portland too as well. Okie doke.
Wow.
Peace
That's
out.
great.
Amen.
That's great. All right, guys. Thanks everyone for your time. Sunday Spin next week. Oh man, the one and only Frank Sessage. And we'll be 4 o'clock Pacific bat time, same bat place. So be good, stay sexy. We'll see y'all next week. And just have a great week, all right? Peace, love, out. Thank you guys. See you next time.
Right.
Sunday Spin, baby. All right, guys.
Cool.